Hello guys, it is DJSteers and welcome to my review of Sherlock, episode 1 of series 4. Now, I haven't done a lot of videos on Sherlock really, but I'm going to talk about the episodes themselves. There's only 3 of them, so yeah, and we probably won't get another series until about 2 years. The last episode of Sherlock that actually had that actually was like an episode. It wasn't the Abominable Bride. It was kind of a feature. The series 3, episode 3, was in 2014, which feels like years ago. But if I thought it was like 2013, something like that, really wasn't that far away. Well, that's what I can tell on the DVD. And Sherlock's back, and when I watched the episode, I must admit I was a little bit disappointed. I wanted to see a big, all that setup and the last episode, for it not to be continued in the 4th. It was just made a good ending. It was a bit annoying. Unless the Abominable Bride was kind of the Moriarty episode that series 3 ended on. Maybe. I thought that was all of his head, and I wasn't classing that as an episode. So I'm going to do a review of it fully, and I'm hoping that there will be spoilers. So I'm hoping that you've watched the episode. If you haven't, then watch it and then come back later, or put it into your watch later and then watch it later. But yeah, so I've got about 4 points that I want to make. So the first point is it's much darker than it was before. So much darker. There's a scene of torture in this, and I think that that's a good thing because it makes it more realistic. I also want to say that the second point is that the fight scenes, there's a scene in the pool, is a lot more creative, I guess, than having them just fight on, just like this and just punching each other, and actually having them fight on a different surface or a different area to make it more interesting, and that's very clever. Just that one scene is just cool. I think it's a pretty cool scene. The third point is, where is Moriarty? We see Moriarty's back again, with the Miss Me, and then he's back and he's live at the end of episode 3 of last series, and he comes back. Not yet, he's not back until the 3rd episode, probably. So, I was expecting him to appear during the entire thing. He fights him and then he disappears off for a bit, and then Toby Jones fills the void of the 2nd episode, and then the 3rd episode is back to Moriarty. And I was wrong. The first time I watched this, I only watched it once, but the first time that I watched it, I was disappointed. There's a few scenes in it that do make it feel better, and I want to talk. And then my third bit, that was really weird. I shouldn't have done that. My fourth thing is that that Mary's dead, and it kind of makes sense really now that you think about it, but they don't want to make it seem sexist and having her just being home with the child and John going off to do the things like, Victorian times and Victorian dramas and all that. So they actually, they tried to incorporate her in with him, with Sherlock and John, but having 3 of them kind of ruins the idea, You don't have Sherlock Holmes, John Watson and Mary Watson. It's Sherlock Holmes and John Watson. It doesn't work with 3. So they kind of have to kill her off, really. And now that the kid's in it, I think that they should have left the kid out, didn't put the kid in there, and just had it happen anyway. and if they didn't put the kid in there, then it would be a massive complication, which then they'll have to work around and try and, you know, there's going to be maybe a plot holes due to it, like who's looking after the baby and things like that, and it also may cause problems for John, and if at worst it might mean he might need to stop going with Sherlock so then he can look after his child, which probably will go to that. My favourite scene in this episode is the scene, well, my favourite sequence in this episode is the sequence with the at the beginning-ish with the car, and it crashes into the other car and there's a body found in there, and that boy is meant to be on a gap year. And I love how it's explained. I love the weird shots when it just jumps off and you see something else and things like that, and Sherlock's voiceover over it, and it looks great. I also love the actual explanation and how it actually happened and how it all pieces together at the end, how you actually was able to figure out, and then you go, that makes sense, even though it's kind of ridiculous and a bit ludicrous. But the fact that someone would go as far as he did to surprise his parents is a little bit silly, but I don't really care. It was a good story and a good idea. I would like to congratulate the writers because that was a great idea. But he puts on a cover, which is like a costume of a seat, because like you can't get them, and he then has a stroke / thing that makes him die, and he dies right there and then it's just convenience that it crashes in and his body's discovered. So I think that redeems that makes the episode feel better, I think, and I am happy to call it an episode of Sherlock that I'm alright with. I don't exactly love it. I don't feel like it's been the best that we've had, but it has been okay. So thank you guys for watching. This has been DHA Studios. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you make sure you give it a like, and I will see you soon. Goodbye. Oh, before I go, I did see a little Easter egg thing. So when John comes out of the bus station, bus stop, the woman is sitting on the bus station / stop thing, which, you know, the thing that got the cover on so it didn't rain on your head, and he sees her and they both look at each other, and she's sitting down, and then if you just slide across the bench, you can see a poster that's generally used for films and TV and things like that. Films and, you know, advertisements, stuff like that. That actually has a picture of Toby Jones on it, and it says businessman, only what I can guess says businessman, and it says he's back. So it probably means he's some kind of public icon, and he's also going to be the bad guy for the next episode. So thank you guys for watching. This has been DHA Studios. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you give it a like, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.